Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Championship Prediction League. Joining me, as always, is EFL expert Gab Sutton. Hope you are well, Gab. I've got some good news for myself, though, mate, from the last weekend's results, because I got 12 points, which extends my lead at the top to 13 over Ollie. Now, I'm on 160. He's on 147, having got 9 last week, and you're on 137, mate, with some work to do.
No.
Having only got 6 points. I was helped out by the Wrexham 1-0 away win, by the way, giving me those 3 points. Probably a bit of a shock result, that one. We've got 10 fixtures to preview this weekend because of the FA Cup weekend. Plenty to get stuck into, starting with what I think is a fascinating game on Friday night between Preston and Oxford. Are Oxford revived a little bit here after their win over West Brom?
I think so, yeah. I've definitely seen a sort of re-energized performance levels from Oxford United. I think they've been very competitive under Matt Bloomfield, given different fixtures. So I really think Bloomfield has revitalised that team, despite them being without Brian McKeersmacher for part of that. And we'd have regarded him as probably their star performer under Gary Rowett. So, yeah, really impressive return from or performances under Bloomfield, and they've got a couple of wins now as well. I think we're in agreement on this one. I've gone with the 1-0 away win. I've kind of followed you in on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going for a 1-0 Oxford win as well. I thought there'd be a drop off slightly from Preston over this kind of period of the season, towards the end of the season. Now, didn't really see them as playoff contenders. They've not won in their last 4, and they've not played 2 difficult teams in that period, apart from Millwall at home last time out. They obviously lost that one 2-0. And I worry for them if they don't win this game. I don't know how long this winless run might continue on for. They've got Coventry away, then Norwich away, Stoke and Leicester, potentially more easier fixtures there. But I think Oxford are unified right now, and that can really help them in a relegation battle up against. Oh, there you go, Gab. Up against the likes of Leicester and West Brom, who look a bit more in disarray. I think if Oxford are collective and solid and together, I think they might be able to pick up enough points to get them out the bottom 3 at least soon enough to get them safe this season. I'm really excited to see what happens to Oxford. Blackburn, Portsmouth up next, mate. And this is an early kickoff on the Saturday between 2 teams who I think a win for either of these, they're so nearly there, aren't they? Massive for them if they can get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, I think appointing Michael O'Neill was absolutely what the doctor ordered for Blackburn Rovers. He started with back-to-back wins, haven't quite been able to follow that up, but they, they'll be looking to get back on the road, and I think this is a big opportunity. Portsmouth and Oxford coming up, great chance for Blackburn Rovers to get a bit closer to the points tally that they need, and maybe put some daylight between themselves and Leicester. I've gone with a 2-1 Blackburn Rovers win, I think Michael O'Neill has shown some has had a positive impact at Ewood Park.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, mate. I think he's obviously a very good manager. I'm so intrigued to see what happens with the Northern Ireland situation with their playoff game coming against Italy later this month, and how that impacts the Blackburn Rovers job. Results before and after that break will be interesting indeed. But I think he's a good appointment. I just think Portsmouth have been overperforming and not potentially getting the results they deserve. We even saw it when they lost 1-0 at home to Hull. They did pretty well in that game again. I know it's Hull City, and that's what we've seen from them all season, but Portsmouth's performance have been pretty good. Away at Wrexham, they were decent. And I know it's back-to-back defeats, but before that, they went and beat Millwall 3-1, and that was another good display. They've beaten Charlton 3-1 in another recent away game. I think being away from home might suit them here. So I am going to back Portsmouth to get a win. I'm going to go against you and go for a 1-0 Portsmouth win, mate. The next game, I stop and stumble slightly, mate, because it's Hull versus Millwall. How massive is this for the playoff and the top 6 picture? And who are you backing?
I'm backing a 3-2 Millwall win. I think Millwall,
and the bonus points, we should interrupt and say.
I know, yeah, exactly.
If you get to remind you of the rules, if you're playing along at home, it's 1 point if you get a correct result. It's 3 points if you get a correct score, and it's 5 points if you get a correct score with 5 goals or more, which is what you're going for, Gab, as my dog lies down in the background.
I know, yeah. I was going to say there's extra points for the dog appearance as well, and that's a new rule I'm proposing. We'll put that to the committee. But I think Millwall Millwall, easy to sleep on Millwall, but they've won 4 of their last 5 league games. And dare I say they could poke their head round the door in terms of the automatic promotion race, because only takes 1 game week for them to close that gap to 1 point on second place Middlesbrough. So I think Millwall, 4 wins in their last 5 games. Yes, they can be prone to the odd mad game, like you mentioned, that 3-1 home defeat to Portsmouth, and they have had the odd off day. But overall, they've been pretty strong. And as a goal-scoring entity, they've won at Wrexham, beaten Birmingham 3-0, very dominant performance there. You mentioned they went to Preston and won 2-0. I've been very impressed by Casper Nora. I thought he produced a really cultured assist at Preston North End, and he's having an excellent season for Alex Neil's side. So I'm backing Millwall. I think Hull can score goals, but I think they can be got out defensively. I think Femi Aziz is going to cause problems for Hull's left side. 3-2 away win for me.
Those bonus points will be sweet. I've got the exact same theory as you, mate, but I'm not quite as brave. I'm going for a 2-1 Millwall away win. I think Femi Aziz's assist for the second goal at Preston was superb. One of my favourite wingers in the league. And that defence, I think they can go close. They've got to go to Hull. They've got to go to Middlesbrough. But if they come out of those games with 6 points, the promotion charge is on for Millwall. I'm talking top 2, not even in the playoffs. And what a tough team to have to play in the playoffs, by the way. Bristol City, Coventry up next. Cov, obviously 4 wins in a row, looking slightly better. Did need a last-minute winner and a bit of good luck with Simpkins' mistake in the Stoke goal to beat Stoke last time out. Bristol City, and the factor going into this one, which Coventry fans will be delighted about, is the midweek FA Cup tie they had to play away at Port Vale. They lost in extra time, which is perfect for Coventry, and also means that this game isn't delayed. They get to play it on Saturday. They've had a week to build up to it. I'm going for a 2-0 Cov win. I'm fairly confident here, mate. Been a bit disappointed with Bristol City lately, and I just think the FA Cup factor might give Cov the edge for this away game.
Well, I can speak with that really odd situation, this, because I'm normally asking you how Coventry played, and this week you can ask me, because I was there for the 2-1 victory over Stoke last weekend, and I thought it was an excellent performance, especially first half. A little bit quieter in the second half, but still created some bits and pieces, and thoroughly deserved that late winner from Jack Rodoney, who definitely looks back to the version of him that we saw from him last season, which bodes so well going into that crucial last quarter of the campaign. But what stands out to me is I feel like the onus, since Frank Onyeka's come in, the onus feels more on what Matt Grimes can do rather than what he can't, because the conversation a month ago was, can he do those defensive transitions? Can he cope with that side of the game, all the covering? Since Frank Onyeka's come in, what we're saying is, look at how well he controls the game. Look how well he takes the pressure off the defence by accepting the ball under pressure and turning the opposition and getting the game moving by popping the ball around and taking control of games that way. And I think that can be huge. So, yeah, I think that's a real positive thing. And that's why I'm going with a 3-1 away win.
Be very happy with that one indeed. I agree with you about Grimes and Onyeka. Lovely partnership. Onyeka went off injured, didn't he, in that game, but looks to be okay for this one based on what we've heard from training. Charlton, Birmingham, mate, up next. I was really disappointed with Birmingham's obviously result against Borough. Borough are a very good team, and we know that obviously second place pushing for the title as well. But I wonder whether Birmingham might slow up a bit now, given the playoffs. Are they potentially out of reach? Is a big ask for them to close the gap on the top 6 now. Would have to string together a number of wins. And I just wonder if we might see a drop off slightly, given that kind of carrot isn't maybe dangling as close as it was. Charlton, very, very good at the Valley as well.
Yeah, I think for Birmingham City, if the points bar was 70 points, then I think it would be realistic for Birmingham to get sort of 21 points from our last 11 games. I think that would be tough, but I think we could do it. But if it was 70 points, that would mean Hull don't get 10 points from 11 games, or Wrexham don't get 13 from 11. And statistically, those things are unlikely, which makes the bar higher, and it makes the top 6 feel that bit further away. Whereas I think I do have a theory once we get into the last quarter of the season that when the teams who just in that the home straight to stay up are at home to the teams that are likely to miss out on the playoffs, you often see the team that just needs the points to stay up because the end goal is closer. I tend to win. I don't have the stats to back that up, but it's just a general feeling that I have, Simon. And with that in mind, I'm going to go with a 1-0 Charlton win. I've also been impressed with. I think the Addicts are going to, rediscover the defensive basics we saw from them in the first third of the campaign, and I think they're going to relish the business end of the season under Nathan Jones and make the Valley a fortress and get some crucial home points. So 1-0 Charlton for me.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. I've gone for a 1-1. I think Charlton added really nicely in January, actually. I don't think it was maybe said too much about the defensive injuries and the fact they had one left-sided player trying to play a back five, basically. And Nathan Jones tried to kind of cover up that issue in various ways. I think they added well in January. I think Harry Clark's a good addition, and I think they'll be very solid now until the end of the season. We're both very confident that they'll stay up and not get dragged into it, and they've done a lot of that work already. So I'm going for another important point here. Derby, Sheffield Wednesday, we don't have to touch on too long. Sheffield Wednesday obviously relegated already. Derby need to keep winning games to try and get themselves back into the top six. I've gone for a 3-0 win. Sheffield Wednesday keeps scoring the odd goal, which is ruining our predictions, Gab. But what do you think?
Yeah, and I think Derby County was really impressed with Merkin at left wing back for Derby County, or left back even, in that 3-1 victory over Blackburn Rovers. I like his athleticism, and I think that when you play with basically four forwards on the pitch, which is crazy attacking, you actually need that width, and I think Merkins can certainly provide that. Fair play to Lewis Travis, because I do think that the system Derby have, 4 forwards on the pitch and 2 attacking fullbacks in Ward and Merkin, it does ask a lot. Another forward-thinking midfielder in Bobby Clark, who's brilliant, by the way. It does ask a lot of somebody like Travis, and I think he's had to have done that job really well in order for Derby to be as competitive as they have been. I'd probably like to see a bit of a tweak for Derby, where you move Clark into the number 10 role and bring in somebody like Oze for Schmodix. That would probably be my preference for Derby, just to give them a bit more balance. But I do see that the attacking threat's there, and I think it's represented in the fact that they've scored 52 goals this season, which is just 2 fewer than Middlesbrough. So the short answer is yes, I'm going to back Derby, and I think that this kind of game is going to suit the attacking quality that they have on display and their attacking approach.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Carlton Morris kind of picks up his goal scoring form from maybe the start of the season, see if he can do that. Obviously, now he's back fit and involved in the team, or whether they might realise he's better as an impact sub. We'll wait to see how that pans out for Derby at the moment. Great experience, obviously, to have in there. Ipswich, Leicester. I know our friend Benjamin Bloom was a little nervy about coming up against a Gary Rowett side at Portman Road. I think Ipswich are starting to get going now, Gab. It's finally happened.
Ben's always very good at politely complimenting the opposition, isn't he, as an Ipswich fan?
Yeah, he certainly is. I'm going for a 2-0 Ipswich win. I don't think it'll be simple. I think Leicester will make hard work of it, but I do think the quality, they've got so much of it. Another 6 changes or whatever they made in midweek when they beat Hull. Really important victory, that one. I think they'll follow it up here with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, Ipswich, I back them to strike consistency at this stage of the season. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, which is great, and they're certainly putting the heat. Excuse me. They're certainly putting the heat on Middlesbrough, who had obviously gone 3 winless before Monday night. I think the big thing that stood out to me about Ipswich recently is Azon. I think previously I'd been of the opinion that George Hurst is their best striker because of his industry and aerial ability and hold-up play, but actually Azon produced a lovely finish last time out, and I think that he could be a real difference maker in the last quarter of the campaign. So I'm backing Ipswich. I think they're going to beat Leicester 1-0, because I don't tend to like to predict Gary Rowett teams to concede a lot of goals, but I'm going to back Ipswich to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was Hurst who started it against Hull, but they do keep switching those 2 around. And I guess that's just the strength in depth that Kieran McKenna has at his disposal. Sheffield United versus West Brom. It's been confirmed that Morrison's now in charge till the end of the season at West Brom, so I'll have to see how it pans out for him there. Players need to start performing, mate. Otherwise, they are going to finish in the bottom three. But this is such a tough test for them. Sheffield United need to rack up so many wins to try and close the gap on the top six. I do think they'll do it here. I think it'll be fairly comfortable for them as well. Plenty of goals. I'm not backing the bonus points, but I am going for a 3-1 Sheffield United win.
I'm going 3-0 to Sheffield United. I don't know if James Morrison is going to do what's needed for West Brom. Sometimes in these situations, the caretaker can do well because they've got a good relationship with the players, and maybe some of the issues were with previous management. But James Morrison has been part of the staff for two managerial reigns that have ended, and he wasn't able to get that initial bounce away at Oxford. Excuse me.
That's such a big game, yeah, that defeat to Oxford, my word.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
2 set pieces as well, Oxford scored, which I'm like, that's the basics. Come on.
And I would probably argue that what it needed was somebody coming in, possibly an experienced head from the outside, just to reorganise things. And so the fact that they've got James Morrison in there as a rookie, I don't know if it's going to be what West Brom needs. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Sheffield United. I've been impressed with their recent form. You're obviously looking at 4 wins in the last 6 for the Blades, who still have those outside playoff chances, pretty much equivalent to Birmingham City now, only a point in it. So if we think Birmingham are still in the playoff race, then why not Sheffield United? Because they've been much improved form-wise since Chris Wilder came in. 15 wins in 30.
And look at who those 2 defeats came against, Gab. Coventry and Middlesbrough for Sheffield United in the last 6. So, I mean, performance levels are there for Sheffield United. I think they will have a strong end to the season. Swansea Stoke, mate. I looked at this fixture and I thought, oh, this is going to be a 0-0 because at this stage of the season, there aren't many championship teams that don't have anything to play for. But I think these are 2 of them. I think Swansea have a decent record at home under Vita Matters. They seem to win a lot of games 1-0. Vipotnik was dropped, wasn't he, strangely, against, was it against Ipswich recently? I don't think there'll be many goals in this one. I am going for a very dull 0-0 draw. Can you add some spice to this game for me, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 to Swansea City. Possibly a little bit of hope from the game at Ipswich would be that they maybe had Malik Yalkoi produce quite a lively moment and had a bit of a shot from the edge of the box. And it looks like he's quite a bright prospect, in terms of under 21 players in the Championship. He's one that I've certainly got my eye on. Interesting, isn't it, that Vipotnik was dropped to the bench. Maybe they sort of trusted Cullen in that kind of game. Not sure that'd do wonders for Vipotnik's confidence. We'll have to wait and see on that. Was impressed by Stoke, other than Simkin, who made some good saves, but I thought Talavierov, when he was forced into playing right back, I think struggled against Mason Clark.
I thought Silver Thomas was very good, mate. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I think his set piece delivery for the corner goal as well, very good. I do think he's really good. And I thought Bay, was very good as well. But yeah, they didn't offer enough going forward, 1 shot on target, but it was away at Coventry, so you have to take that into account a bit.
Of course, yeah. I'm going 1-0 to Swansea.
Absolutely. And we finish QPR versus Middlesbrough. And this one's Sunday afternoon, mate. So after your Sunday roast, you can tuck into this as your dessert. Middlesbrough produced a wonderful away performance and a wonderful away result, switching to a back 5, didn't they? Against Birmingham, Matt Targett getting all that space down the left-hand side. I'm expecting big things here for Borough against the QPR side. I just don't trust this season, really. How about you?
Yeah, well, I think, again, you put context to the season into the equation. I think QPR have definitely made progress this season, but maybe doesn't feel like it in terms of form at the moment because they are so far off the playoff pace, and it does feel like the season's coming to a conclusion. They'll try. I think if this was earlier in the season, I would back QPR to make Loftus Road a bit of a fortress and possibly take some points off Borough. But the form Borough are in, up until, I think after that performance at St Andrews, I'm going to back the visitors to enjoy a comfortable victory. I'm going to change it from 1-2 to 0-2. So I'm going to go with 2-0 away win.
Okay, interesting stuff. I actually think, and it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Maybe Borough might turn into a team that's better away from home than at home. I don't know why I think that. I think it's after seeing what they did at Birmingham. Maybe they like putting the pressure on the home side and being able to do that and stamp their mark on games in different ways than at the Riverside, where we saw home draws against Oxford and Leicester, where there was a bit of frustration and difficult to break down those sort of teams. So maybe away from home, they might turn into a better team as well. I haven't done any bonus points yet, Gab, this week, but that's going to change here because I'm going QPR 1, Borough 4. Big away performance coming from Middlesbrough. And there are predictions for this championship game week. Gab, thank you very much for joining me. As always, we will meet up and discuss the midweek predictions. So I'll be back on Sunday with some more predictions, probably with Ollie Man for that one. And we'll see how we've got on from myself, from Gab, and from Bueno in the background there, though. We will see you later in the week. Thanks very much for watching, guys.